and welcome to Exploring the Holos. I'm going to try to make this quick here because I just broke my little tripod thing that holds my camera slash phone. This is going to be a video on understanding the unconscious mind. And I'm going to go ahead and call this like a second part or a continuation to the last video on education. This is something I think all people need to be educated on, not just Americans. But a lot of the issues on this planet are because people have no idea what their unconscious mind is trying to tell them. And if you fail to make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. That is a quote from Carl Jung, the well-known psychologist that came up with a lot of the archetypal psychology that we use and know today. And you'll hear me quoting him quite often and doing videos about his thoughts and theories. And understanding what your unconscious mind is trying to tell you is absolutely necessary to being successful in life. The unconscious can communicate only through archetypes and imagery. And you have to learn how your unconscious communicates with you in order to understand it. And the ways of doing this, there may be other ways, but the two that I can come up with right offhand, the number one thing that works for me is dream journaling. And starting off, you may be a person like I was who would never remember their dreams. I don't know, be it that I was a heavy sleeper or a light sleeper or somebody who maybe has sleep apnea at times. I would never remember my dreams until I started setting an intention to remember my dreams and then putting a little book by my bed where when I wake up and I have a dream, I immediately record it and even record how it made me feel. Your feelings are very important because that is how your unconscious communicates, through feelings and images that only you can interpret. You know, some people will say that they can interpret your dreams or other people's dreams. I'm very skeptical of that. I feel like only you can interpret your own dreams because it's your mind, and that your mind knows how to communicate with you. So, dream journaling is a great way to figure out what your subconscious is trying to tell you, and only your interpretation of that matters. Tarot cards are also, they're similar to a dream analysis as far as interpretation of the meaning of that card to you is what's important, because your mind is trying to communicate. The feeling that you get from the image is where the communication is made. And that's all that matters, is what you feel. So let's say you go somewhere and somebody's going to read your cards. They can tell you what the card represents. They can tell you the archetype of it. But ultimately, your interpretation and how the card makes you feel is all that matters. And I think it's very important that everybody learns how their unconscious mind is trying to communicate with them, because we repress things that upset us, things that may be part of our psyche that we are trying to hide from other people. We repress these things consciously, and our subconscious works to hold that stuff down, but it can't. Over time, it boils over and explodes out, and it can really ruin your life if you don't deal with that content. So, long story short, learn how your mind is trying to communicate with you. And I guarantee you, if you do these things, the dream journaling especially, maybe that doesn't work for you, then try the tarot. I really was very skeptical of tarot, but having watched Morgue Official's recent videos, I've learned a lot more about it, and I think it's legit. But the dream journaling really works for me, so I think it's a good idea if you try to do these things. Set your intention and have a little book to write down your dreams. And another thing I wanted to say is, as Neo-Genians, we're trying to explain things in the most logical and reasonable way possible. I'm speaking for myself now when I say I reject all magic. Magic really is using your will to change the world. When you have an idea in your head and you're taking that idea and making it reality, that's really all the magic there is in the world. When it comes to religion and the occult, I think there's a lot of misunderstanding. And what we have to realize, and what everyone has to realize, is magic is really just psychology. And, people see synchronized numbers like 1111 or 111 or 333, and they think it means something. It only means something to your subconscious, to your unconscious mind. And if you subconsciously put a meaning to something like that, then it does mean something to you. And if you ahead of time make something out of these numbers, your subconscious mind will alert your conscious mind when those numbers come up, and you'll notice them more, and they will seem like magic. But you have to understand, this is just psychology. And the same thing with, religion and praying. People think that praying works because it's the placebo effect. It's simply the placebo effect. And the real magic is within your mind. When you can take something from your mind and make it a reality in the material world. So we all have to be gods. We have to enforce our will in reality. We have to make this the world that we want it to be. We can't just pray and hope for the world to change to be what we want it to be. We have to utilize our will. And the faster the world realizes this, the better it will be. We all want a perfect world, but it's not going to happen unless we all come together and use our collective will to make it a better world. And with that being said, I hope you have a great week. I hope you have a safe week. I hope you utilize your will and make it reality. Till next time, ad astra, my friends.